pastor of the church. We're so glad you're here today. Mary Beth has actually performed here in a concert last year, which is really nice, and we're glad to have her back with us again. And she had told me that if you have requests, please speak up. She likes when you do that. She says somebody might stump her today, so we'll kind of see the variety of music and the different choices and interests you have. So we're really excited to have you. Before that, I'm going to give another commercial for something else going on involved in the church, and I'll turn things over to you in just a second. For any of you who vote here, or even if you don't vote here, but you like baked goods, we have great baked goods. On November 7th, which is Election Day, we will have special baked goods that day, and we hope that you'll join us for that. With that commercial being done, Mary Beth, we're going to turn things over to you. We're so glad you're here. Yeah, I was just going to make it quick. And we're so glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me back again. Oh, I see some wonderful friends here. So, I'm Mary Beth, and I'll be your waitress. I mean, your violinist. Sorry, I meant to say violinist. I was a waitress in the past, but now I'm a violinist. And I'm just going to start with something that I just warmed up a little bit on in the hallway there. Our weather changed, didn't it, all of a sudden? You know? So I think there's only one song for that, and it's Autumn Leaves. Try to jazz it. And the love for what we do as musicians is so satisfying. I can't even begin to tell you. I do believe that music goes to places in our hearts that words not go all the time. They can go, of course, when Pastor Mark speaks, of course the words go right to it. But music can accompany that beautifully or stand on its own, and you take it for what it is. You can take it as a meditation, you can take it as a happy moment and remembrances of the past. You can feel hope when you hear music. It's what you want it to be. So I'm just going to start with some of my favorites. Does anybody remember? It's an oldie, but I love it. It's called A Nightingale Sang. Where? Berkeley Square. This is an old Nat King Cole song. And Nat King Cole is probably the reason I went into music, because my mom would play his music on the stereo all the time. Do you remember Unforgettable Ladies? You remember those? instrument to the human voice. So if you put these on a computer graph and you're doing an acoustic check on the waves patterns, the human voice and the violin, almost identical. So it's a way I can be Celine Dion when I play Titanic. I can be Natalie Cole when I play anything that her father sang. You can pretend, and so anyway, but it's really, it's a wonderful thing to be able to sing on an instrument. So here's a little nightingale sang on Berkeley Square. So close to a violinist before? Not really? Do you hope you never are again? I had one lady come to one of my shows. She brought a friend who hates violins. And the friend said, I don't want to go. And at the end, I tried to play my heart out and really, play to her. And at the end, I said, well, what do you think? I heard that you were, finding violins not always your cup of tea. How do you feel now? And she said, I hate it a little less. My favorite doctor is here, Dr. Pendrani, and his gorgeous wife, Lisa. And I think music and medicine often go together. I play at Metro Hospital for health and healing. And I'm in different waiting rooms. I'm kind of a bad girl. Sometimes when I play in orthopedics, I play, don't get around much anymore. One guy said, don't rub it in, lady. Remember that old song? It's an oldie. Mr. Saturday Night, woo! Kids are screaming. They know a shot is coming, or they just got a shot. It's not pretty. They are crying. So I go into, I know, Rachel, you're a little old for this one, but I go into a rousing version of Baby Shark. Are the adults going to run out of the room? Just stay, it'll just take a minute. Get out of the water. Baby shark, sharks, mommy, daddy, grandma shark, because I could hear no teeth, grandpa. Do you know it? Do you want to do the hands for me? No, okay. Well, here's a chance to be in the limelight. So, and I also play, just so many different areas. The waiting room I love. One lady said I was ready to take an anti-anxiety pill, but when you play Titanic, I felt much better. Titanic's lovely. I love the beginning. It's played by a pan flute, but I'll try to imitate it. That was the best one?
That was the best one today.
Today, so far. So the other ones were like...
Well, they were like this, but that was the best one.
Okay, well now I know what you like. Now the violin is an interesting instrument, you know. It's when you first start the violin, it's like... And my mother said, "That's so beautiful." That's so beautiful. And my dad said, "That stunk." We had to get her over to that east side, at University Circle, and get her some good lessons. And Mom said, "Well, okay, but I just thought it was beautiful." You know, that's a mom for you. So I went over, and the lessons were $40 an hour back then, in 1960. 15 years ago. No. So anyway, I took lessons from a Cleveland Orchestra gentleman, and they were $40 as an hour, and my dad had this job. See if you can guess what my dad's job was by this music. You don't like this one, do you? So he worked on the railroad. And worked a lot of overtime to afford those lessons. And it's hard being a beginner on violin because you've got to work. This is like this is the lungs, this is the breath, and you've got to draw sound from a wooden box. Some of you might wonder about the violin. They're curly maple on the back, spruce on the top, a softer wood on the top. Because like a drum has a harder bottom and a soft top, the string instruments are the same way. Okay, so hardwood, curly maple, softwood, spruce. The little, we call this a bridge. It holds up the strings. That's made of pine. This could float on water. You want something very light. Inside we have a sound post that goes flush from the bottom to the top of the instrument's all hollow, except for that little post in there. And it's like a transmitter. It's like a microphone, so it has to be flush up against each side here. Often the fingerboard, that's all this real estate here. We call it real estate where we're traveling around. That is sometimes made of ebony, although less and less since that's an exotic wood and it's not being harvested from the rainforest anymore. At least not legally. Anyway, so that's ebony. The bow, very interesting. Does anybody know that? Rachel, do you know what the bow is made of?
Well, the thing that creates the music is horsehair.
Yes, bingo, horsehair. Horsehair creates the music. I like how you said that. It creates the music. And if you ever take these apart, you will see what I'm talking about. This is, woo, that's what we play on. But guess what? We musicians are not untouched by the war in Ukraine, because the horsehair comes from Siberia, where the horses grow really thick hair, thick manes, thick hair, which makes for the grip we need on the strings. But because there's a supply chain problem, we're not getting the horsehair like we usually do in abundance. So this happens to be artificial hair. It's not bad. I was ready to like, I don't want that, I want horsehair. Horsehair my whole life, I want that Siberian horsehair. Well, too bad, sister, you have to use the artificial, and there's some bamboo in here, there's many different materials that go in to make this fibrous bow, which is fine. I think it gets a good grip. Kind of gets a little bite to it. So it's fine. And actually, this is not my violin. I have to be honest. This is not mine. Mine is in the shop getting a tune-up. And the gentleman gave me a violin to use in the meantime. And it's like driving a different car. The suspension's different, just things are different. And you know, I'm getting to know you, getting to know all about you. So it's interesting. Yes, Greg?
How often do you change the strings?
Strings get changed about twice a year. And they used to be made out of what people thought catgut, right? No, it was sheep gut. And it doesn't happen anymore because they pop all over the place. If you're a blossom playing in the humidity, the strings will be popping all over. So now they are pearl-on, which is nylon, with a synthetic core, and they wrap the aluminum around. And the same material is used by mountain climbers. So you know these are strong, and they will last because people actually rappel up and down with them. So it's very interesting that any one of these strings could hold any of you up. So behave. And so these are, it's just interesting. I think I'll do a little chardash. This is a Hungarian dance, number 5. Anybody Hungarian here? Then this might resonate with you. Okay, anybody? Yes. Oh, my Sue, my grade school friend is Hungarian, yes. Well, we have a large contingency of Hungarians in the city, and the music is wonderful, and the dancing is wonderful, and the outfits are fabulous. So I'm going to try to bring all of them together with Hungarian Dance number 5 in G minor by Brahms. There we go. man is playing the violin with a recording box that has everything he's playing on recording. So he's actually doing this. And getting money. Getting his violin. Teresa saw them. Okay, you saw them. They're a little group, little family. Pardon?
They couldn't fool me.
They couldn't fool you. Well, they certainly didn't fool me. I jumped out of the car, I parked the car, and I went over, and he's going to town 3 inches above the violin. And I said, turn that off, I want to hear you play. And he goes, what? He goes, the money box is here. I said, I know, turn it off, I want to hear you play. And there didn't happen to be anyone really around at that time, so I wasn't really interrupting. But so he turned it off and he went like this. And it wasn't bad. Clearly, he plays. I said, you're not playing when you run this thing. Just turn that off and play. You think you're so great, you play it. So, I played another Hungarian Csárdas, and the family started gathering around. There was a mom with a baby, there was a grandma. They started kind of coming around, of the relatives of these musicians playing. And they came around, and so I played a little bit. I took his violin, it was a nice one. It starts out. So I went on with that slow part, then I got to the fast part. So I'll be appearing with them at the North Olmsted Target. I was so mad when I saw it. Then I started feeling bad. And have a little compassion in your heart, you know. They need bucks, you know. They sure were accumulating them. Didn't offer me a tip, but that's okay. It was fun. They never expected somebody that actually played would be there playing. Has anybody thought of a request yet?
Yes.
Oh.
Impossible Dream.
Oh, to dream the impossible dream. Does anybody know where that's from? Man of La Mancha. And who played the Man of La Mancha?
Kylie.
Yes, yes, yes. And then we had Dulcinea, the female lead. Such a beautiful piece on the impossible dream. Okay, let's see if I can recall it. United States, each state has a song or two, or many, that are associated with the state. We've got beautiful Ohio. There's New York, New York. There's John Denver, West Virginia.
Hang on, Sophie.
Hang on, Sophie. Well, actually, I know that. Sounds like Mozart. This is the husband, by the way. That's what he really wants to hear is Mozart. My mom used to say, quit playing that awful stuff. Because I would sit by the TV and I would play, and this is perfect for Halloween, I would So my mother would say, stop it, play what I like. Play the Clair de Lune, which is beautiful.
Yes.
Play a Mozart symphony. Play some Bach. And of course, all of those are near and dear to my heart too. But I like to get a little goofy and play kooky stuff. Speaking of Halloween, that was a little Halloweenish. What movie is this? Yeah, who said Psycho? Mark? Very good. That is Psycho. They put 10 violins in a recording studio. Alfred Hitchcock was overseeing this whole thing. They put 10 of them in a recording booth, and they had them all do, we call this glissando, gliss up, so this is a... That's Janet Leigh in the shower. Yeah, scary. You can get so many, you guys are all kind of young. I don't know if you remember Outer Limits, but it's like... Do not adjust the verb. Yeah, this is Outer Limits. Violins have been playing spooky music for years. And there's a lot of wonderful organ music around Halloween time. If you're going to give out candy this year, put organ music on in the background. The kids love it. They love it. Just, or any, you can do the toccata and flute, you can hear that. Oh, sorry, I played it in the major key. Hold on. So, put on some organ music. Speaking of organ music, I have to tell you, we made a trip in July. The husband and I made a trip. I'm not going to tell you where we went. I'm going to kind of have you guess. We went to 3 different countries. And we started in this country. Can you tell me what it is? Miss Teresa Conway. Do you know this, Doc? Danny Boy. You know, there's a flight right out of Cleveland to Dublin. And of course, that's the beautiful Debbie Boy. What? You raised me up?
That's the name of the song, right?
Well, that's a Josh Groban song, but it could be called You Raised Me Up. This is Danny Boy.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
yes, Gravy Boy.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is Danny.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
I saw the Southern Woman there a couple times.
Yeah, it does have it. Well, it's got they have their Celtic. The Celtic women are amazing. Do you ever see the little blonde one jumping around with a violin? She's not really playing. It's all recorded. It's on recording. You could not get that many speed bumps. You know, no, it wouldn't happen. So she's not playing. We've watched it together, and I say to him, quit being so impressed with her. She's not playing. It's all recorded. Yes, vacant. So, next country. Okay, that was clearly Ireland. And that is jolly old England, right? That's Rule Britannia. So it was on to England. And the reason we went to England, we went to Northern England. There's a town called Newcastle upon Tyne. That's the River Tyne. And throughout my life, I've heard about this ancestor who worked at the cathedral there. There's a big, gorgeous Gothic cathedral there downtown. And apparently, a Dr. Thomas Irons, my last name is Irons, weird name, it's not common. Dr. Thomas Irons, born 1811, at 16 years old, got a job as the music director, pianist, organist at that cathedral. And his name is in gold on the plaque there, and it's on a stained glass window in memory of Dr. Thomas Irons. And I had to see this. My dad was all set to go, got sick, couldn't go. So I wanted to finish the roots journey. We call this a roots journey. You're finding your roots. So I went, and it was wonderful. I met the new organist there, and he goes, "Ah, yes, I know you have your ancestor. Yes, I know. We still play his music. He was a composer too. I didn't know." So that was like very, very sweet to actually go to the place you've heard about an ancestor being. And then our last country, you'll probably figure this out real quick, see if you can recognize it by what I play. I have a little cheat sheet sometimes. There's a lot of stuff up here in the jukebox, as I call it, but sometimes the quarter gets stuck. A jukebox is what they used to put quarters in. She knows! I know, you knew Mohair, of course you know jukebox. All right, so see if you can guess what country this is from. What is that? Does anybody know? The Bonnie Banks of Lomond. It's a very Scottish song. There's another beauty called Both Sides of the Tweed. If you go up to Glasgow from Edinburgh, there's a river called the Tweed. And I think it's where tweed comes from, the fabric. And there's a beautiful song because the river Tweed runs through the city. And the song is called Both Sides of the Tweed. It's so pretty. It kind of breathes the spirit of the Scottish landscape. You can just, I don't know, when I play it, I can see the heather, I can see the lochs, I can see all the things that are Scottish. It's just a beautiful song. Here we go. beside the tree. So it was a great trip, wonderful trip. Everyone spoke English, and it was just, fun to fly around those countries, and the weather was nice, a little rainy, but it was really lovely. There's many violins appear everywhere. There was a fiddle. People say, what's the difference between a violin and a fiddle? Sometimes I say, the number of teeth. That is so mean. Fiddle players have fine teeth. You're not laughing. Yes. No, the violin and the fiddle are the same thing. The fiddle is what we call our violins when we want to use a cute name. Oh, let me grab my fiddle. I mean, Isaac Stern, Itzhak Perlman, Yasha Heifetz, all these professional great violinists call their violins their fiddle. And fiddle players sometimes have the nerve. I mean, some fiddle players sometimes call their fiddles violin. Ooh, I'm gonna get my violin. There is a fiddle tune going through the Ken Burns documentary about the Civil War. It's called A Chopin Farewell. It sounds like it might have been written at the time Shenandoah was written. It's got that kind of flavor. You think it was from the Civil War, but it was actually written in the 1980s. It's called A Chopin Farewell. It's absolutely the most beautiful fiddle tune. I'm going to play it like a fiddle a little bit, okay? So I'm going to get all the classical out of here. We'll try. And play it like a... They don't do that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, they do. No, I'm kidding. Here we go. Still Mozart. He thinks everything sounds like Mozart. Another request?
September song.
September song, Moonglow. Let's see, and you have one too? Papa Bell Cannon. Yeah, those are beautiful songs. The Papa Bell I just played yesterday for a wedding. The brides love Papa Bell Cannon. And you might have heard it. It starts out with the cello goes like this. And the violin. Then it grows. bride took her time. This is how she walked down the aisle yesterday. Have you seen that, Ceci? So I had to playing the Papa Bell like 5 times. Because you gotta get the timing right. You can't stop when she's halfway down the aisle. So here I go again, I just kept going. Come on, lady. I mean, I've had to do that with many of them. She's not even out yet. She's nowhere to be found. Look at. So I'm playing. She was a no-show. Finally showed up. I mean, I had played Here Comes the Bride like 20 times. I don't know. A zipper could get stuck. You never know. You never know what's going on that stage. You never know. But what I was talking about before, September Song and Moonglow?
Moonglow
Moonglow.
from Picnic.
From Picnic, you even know the show. Very impressive. Let's see, Moonglow. Let me stew on that one for a minute. Now, by the September Song, do you mean try to remember. I think September Song's something different. I don't know it. So I play that. Because my birthday's in September. Any other September birthdays? What date?
29.
29. You're 21. And the October birthdays? Yes, ma'am. When?
Yesterday. Any other October? Okay. All right. This one.
I have a little request.
David has a request. Yes.
It's just a story. A few years back, you did something that made you very happy. Will you relate with us about playing the Who concert?
Oh, does anybody remember the rock group, The Who? Yeah, they came. Anyway, so The Who came, well, Roger Daltrey is the lead singer. And he came about 25, 30 years ago, and he shut down the Coliseum that we had in Richland. His was the last show that the Coliseum presented before they tore it down. Then, fast forward 25, 30 years later, it blossomed just a couple years ago. He came back with Pete Townsend, and you know who the drummer is in The Who now? Ringo Starr's son. His name is Zach Starkey, and he's the drummer for The Who, so I got to chat with him and chat with Roger Daltrey. Sorry, you know my feelings for you. So that just, I just love the Who, and Roger's now, he's been holding on to 72 for a while. But he's very talented, and the music just brought me right back. And I know you're a huge Beatles fan. Beatles are, the young people know the Beatles. Grace, do you know the Beatles? What do you know about them?
He loves them.
He loves them. That's a good answer. What do you know about he loves them? Yeah, there were 4 guys in the 60s, 1960s, and they had these, mop top haircuts, and they had voices that blended like angels. There was something about their voices that just, and I love the Beatles songs. I like Eleanor Rigby. Remember that one? I'll just start right on the melody here. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong key. Let me get it right here. Sing it for me, Dave. Sing it right here. Well, let me warm up with the Beatles. One bride of mine a couple weeks ago wanted Yesterday. All my troubles seem so far away. It's for wedding day. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. And I said, do you know the words to that? She said, well, you're not going to be singing. She said, just play it. I'm signing your check. You play what I want.
I'm not half the man I used to be.
I'm not half the man I used. Mark knows that this is appalling. You don't play this at a...
Well, maybe you do.
Maybe you do.
They did. You just play what they asked for.
You do, you have to. So here's a little Yesterday. I had the words in my mind. I did it with feeling. Remember this one? This was so cute. Are you yawning, Beth? I just caught Estelle yawning. It was a big one too. It was like she wound up. She's tired. Well, anybody that yawns during my show, and I'm watching. Anybody, husband, you included. Anybody that yawns during my show, birthday girl, anybody that yawns will get your own private lullaby. You did it last year. Oh my gosh, you guys have to hear this. When I played last year, Chris, my beautiful gal over here, she yawned. And I nailed her on it. I went over and I said, did you just yawn? Chris, I think you turned every shade of the rainbow. It was so cute. And now I find out this is for granddaughter. Is this family not getting any sleep? No. Okay, this is for you, baby. I'm watching. I can be in the middle of a concerto. I can be in the middle of something. If I'm sitting on, you're gonna get a lullaby, and you're gonna get called on the spot. And if you're tired or need some air, whatever, even if you try to stifle it, I will catch you. I've seen stifling attempted, and I will catch you. Back to Norwegian wood. Here we go. Norwegian wood.
Banjos.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. You know it. And the other banjo? And the other banjo? He wants Mozart. Turn the violin into a banjo. So that's for the difference. I don't know why I played that. It had nothing to do with anything. But anyway, so back to Beatles a little bit. Beautiful music. Not one piece of their entire repertoire is the same as the next. They're all different. And the older I get, the more I just love the music. They're quite brilliant and amazing. Let me try Eleanor again. Eleanor. Getting toward the end of my program. What time is it, husband? 3:00. No. All right, I have one thing I'd like to play. Our Jewish brethren, brothers and sisters, Israeli brothers and sisters, are going through a hard time now with this war that came out of thin air. So I'd like to play a little lovely Hebrew song. It's called Remember When It Rained. And here's some of the lyrics. The tears of hope run down my skin. Tears for you that will not dry. They magnify the one within. and let the outside slowly die. So it's just a beautiful song. I have played it before. Actually, I played it at the mausoleum in Mayfield Cemetery. On the east side, there's this beautiful chapel. It actually has a Tiffany window or two, and it was also designed by Severance of Severance Hall. It's beautiful, and every year around this time, because this is Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, I played a memorial service for those who have passed the year within the year before. And this was one of the songs I played, and it's really, really pretty. So here's in honor, and it's just a prayerful meditation to our friends in Israel who are really suffering. Just a little bit. You guys have been absolutely delightful. I hope you enjoy this little crazy show. I believe in getting the violin out of the orchestra and up close and personal to you all. It's just really important. It has a voice. It has a soul. It has a way of communicating that words can't always. So I really love the opportunity to do this. Thank you, Mark, for allowing me to come, and Susan, thank you for all your help in doing this. I really enjoyed it. Now, I'm trying to think of it. Yes, will you please
You know Coleman Prima?
sing it for me?
For the first time on Love.
No, I do not. Sing it.
There was the tenor that sang that passed away because he ate too much.
Mario Lanza.
Yes.
I don't know that, a lot of,
For the first time, I'm in love.
why, thank you. You have the sparkliest blue eyes.
I'm a Gemini, what do you expect?
He's a Gemini. Oh. I'm sorry, I do not know that one. I'm trying to think of a nice song to end with. What do you think? I mean,
I just was thinking of maybe the Beatles, All We Need Is Love.
that's a good one too, yes.
Okay. I can only imagine.
That's a great one. Yeah, all you need is love. It's so fun. It starts with. Let me try that out. And how about, I'm going to do a little Bocelli. Andrea, Bocelli, Time to Say Goodbye.
Oh.
This is a beauty, and it fits the mood, and we're saying goodbye, but this is so pretty. I always love this song.
also for refreshments in the fellowship hall, just in the basement, so. Forgot to mention that beforehand. Again, thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I have so